guys, welcome to this week's vlog. I've got a bit of a I guess a catch-up chatty vlog for you this week, because for me it has come to be the end of an era and I'm excited and petrified at exactly the same time. Before we get into that, background information. So I've been working for major retailers since I was 17. I started off in Next for like 2 years, and I was at Dorothy Perkins. It doesn't exist anymore, sad times. That was there for about 2.5 years, and then I was at H&M for the majority of my 20s, and then I moved to TK Maxx at the end of my 20s, and I was there for like 11.5 years. I was at H&M for like 5.5. And yeah, so I've been off work since April because of my mental health problems. We're still trying to figure all that out, but obviously I'm on a massive waiting list that's like, I think I mentioned before, 15 to 38 weeks, and I'm not even at week 15 yet, so got a while to go. And also obviously I've started, like, I've come off one set of medication, now I'm on another set of medication. And side note, I phoned up the doctors like yesterday because apparently the diary only goes certain like weeks ahead, so they can't like book an appointment with the same doctor certain weeks ahead. It's anyway. So I phoned up and was like, I think I need like a review of my tablets and stuff like this because I've only just started them, and usually they want a review after, like, they should have started working to see if you need to go up a dosage or you're okay on the same dosage and stuff. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure for myself, like, because my life is so kind of bizarre at the moment where I'm not really going anywhere. It's hard to kind of tell, but I find that when I do go out, I feel like it's taking the edge off things. That's probably what it is. But I feel like I need to discuss it properly and more in depth with a doctor, and they seem surprised that I wanted to speak to a doctor about my medication. They seem to think that they just put me on this medication and then that was it. It's not their problem anymore. Like, I'll sort it out myself. That's just our mental health system here in the UK, isn't it, on the NHS? It's just absolutely brilliant. Anyway, enough of that. So obviously I've not actually been at work since the beginning of April. And I'd always actually intended on leaving TK Maxx in August because September and that is when it gets super, super busy. And despite me speaking to my manager the last couple of years and saying, I just want to do my contract hours because I have my own business, I don't want to like run myself crazy doing all these extra hours, completely ignored me and just put me in anyway. So it was really, really stressful doing all these extra hours as well as getting really busy with my business. Is like the busiest time for that and stuff like that. Last year, and I was like, I'm not doing that again this year. And obviously me and John had like discussions about this sort of before Christmas last year, and we were like, yeah, August, because then that I'll probably be okay, and until then trying to juggle everything and all that kind of thing. So anyway, I was always intending to leave in August, but then of course I ended up having all these problems again with my mental health or mental illness or whatever, so it was like, may need to review the situation. Diet Coke break. So basically, I come to the end of my sick pay with the company, and it was like, I still don't feel well enough to go to work. Like, I felt better than I did, but when I'm in the house, I feel like I'm getting bored and I'm getting a bit fed up. But then when I go outside, like take the dog out and stuff, it all kind of goes a bit crazy, goes a bit wrong, I suppose, and I start getting the anxiety increases quite a lot and goes back. So it's like at home I feel you know, I'm sitting here, I'm like, yes, I can go out, I can do stuff, I can go. And then I go out and then I'm like, oh no, now I want to go home. So I was like, but I'd have to like do that obviously with work for like 4-hour shifts, like 3 times a week or whatever. And retail's not known to be, especially major retailers, they're not known to be stress-free. You're not known to be sort of not busy and all that kind of thing. And there's all the sort of things that you have to get around. Sort of, you know, for starters, like going in there, I'm having to touch a load of things, which is what I've got a problem with, germs and stuff. at the moment, and I'm gonna have to touch like everything that everyone else has touched. And that's not just the fact that everyone has to touch everything when they're looking, or you know, the hangers and all that kind of thing. It's not even just that. It's you know, if you're going on the fit room, people try and stuff on. Do you know how many people try on their stuff? Like, that's not the first time someone's tried on that thing that you're trying on, right? Anyway, and all the hangers, and you know, people don't put things back on the hangers, and they often give you to do it inside out, for instance. And then there's like, so that's like the fitting room, so it's like you have to turn it the right way around, but someone else has just had it on their body, and it's just what. So obviously for me at the moment, that's not great. And then obviously I'm handing the tag thing of how many items and back, and handing back and handing, and how many people have touched that and all that kind of thing. And it gets to where you're doing a routine where you're literally having to clean everything, and then it starts to get a bit ridiculous, doesn't it? Like, everyone's like, what are you doing? And I just want to clean everything every time that I'm on it. Yeah, it's not practical. And then don't get me started on the tail when you, weirdly, cash, you know, you've got cash and stuff, and people are like, it's more like when they touch my hand, not, you know, rather than the cash. Like the cash, I can kind of get my head around a bit, and I'm like, I just don't put my hand anywhere else without my hands, and then I make sure I hand sanitize, and I can get my head around that bit. But when people touch me and stuff, and then if I, you know, you touch your face, or you touch something else because you're putting, you're getting a bag, or you're putting something else back, or someone's returning something, it's just not good. Do you know what I mean? For that reason, like, my hands would be literally raw when I've been at work. And then you've got the back areas, and one of the reasons I decided I'd had enough, I was like, I need to get some help with this, was the fact that I'd gone to put my coat into the back area, like on the hooks, and someone else's coat was there who smoked, and it stunk. So I was like, well, I can't put my coat on that hook. And then I went into like the wardrobe stuff, and there was loads of other coats in there, and I was like, well, I can't put them in with that either because they're all dirty. And then I went to the toilet after I don't know what, I think I just put my coat in my locker. And then I went to the toilet, and the toilet smelled. And then, so I was like, I was breathing in that germs and that just stuff. And then that was all before I'd even started work. And I was like, I think I might need some help with this. And it's like, at work, I was washing my hands, and then I was like hand sanitizing after I'd washed my hands, and then putting hand cream on and stuff. And it was like such a process to keep having to do that. And there's so many times I'd be at work, and I'd be tidying or whatever I was doing, and then I'd be like, I need to go and wash my hands. And hand sanitizer just wasn't enough. Like, I could use it a couple of times, but then it got to the stage where I was like, well, my hands still aren't clean even with the hand sanitizer on. And that's the problem with sort of going out and about now. Like, you know, when I go to fairs and stuff, I'm mostly just touching my own things. And I hand sanitize when people pass me cash and stuff like that. And I'll go to the toilet, and obviously I can wash my hands properly, but it doesn't feel like I'm washing them properly. And I still have to like turn taps on and off and things. Okay, the more I talk about it, the more I realise I think I might need to go up on my tablets, because it's fine when I'm at home. Like, I can touch my sink, like my taps and stuff. Like, I do still overwash my hands a little bit, I think, at home, but not as much as I was doing. And I'm not too bad with things at home. Like, the house is obviously in a reasonable state of cleanliness all the time. And even when, you know, it's my muck, it's my husband's muck, no one else has been in the house but us two and the dog. And so I can kind of get my head around all that. But when I go out, I don't. And obviously it's a very different going to a fair for like a couple of hours and having to actually go into work. So basically, with all this kind of thing, me and John were kind of like, what is the point of dragging this on? Like, you're not getting any more sick pay from work. You'd have to go through an occupational therapist to get like statutory sick pay, which is hardly anything at all. It seemed not worth it for something I, didn't care about going back to. Like, I'd mentally left that place a long time ago. There isn't anything wrong with it. It's just retail. It's the same as all the other shops I've worked in. And they try and take over your life like all the other shops. No matter how many hours you do, whether you do 12 hours like me or you do full time, they will try and take over your life. And I just kind of had enough, really. Like, I'd mentally left that. It just didn't feel like it fit me anymore. It sounds really crazy, probably, but it didn't feel like it really fit. It didn't gel. Like, the rest of my life felt a good fit. I was enjoying everything else in my life and liking it and feeling happy in it and feeling like I was doing the right thing. But when I went to work, all that went away, and I felt like I was a worse version of myself when I was at work as well. Like, I didn't really like the person I was when I was at work, because I was more stressy. And when I look back, I think it's because of this ongoing problem that apparently I've been had since I was a teenager. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm still going through a process of being properly diagnosed, and also of actually understanding it myself before I start talking about it and saying it's this, that and the other. And I don't really know what I'm saying, and I don't want to put that misinformation out there because there's enough of that on the internet anyway. So when I'm more comfortable about it, I guess I'll talk about it more. And it's something that's actually been happening, you know, since I was like a teenager by the looks of it. This is just what seems to be the case at the moment. But as I said, I'm at the beginning of the process. And it's kind of like it actually starts to make sense of why I was a stressier, more of a different person in certain situations than I am when I'm at home in a comfortable situation and with people I'm comfortable with and care about. It's all making a lot more sense now, to be honest, the more I think about it. And at the beginning I was like, I don't want to think about it. This is too much for me. I haven't got enough headspace for this right now. I know that I feel absolute whatever. Sorry, John, you probably have to bleep that out. But that's all I know, and I just can't just someone help me because I don't know what I'm doing. And I think definitely the tablets are taking the edge of it and sort of having that time away from less, I guess, triggers, less things triggering me, sort of like, not having to turn weird taps and stuff and having to touch things that aren't mine and all that kind of thing, has made me feel a lot better and a lot calmer in my head and a lot less agitated and stuff when I'm at home anyway. But I have just been on a dog walk. I actually took the dog, and I can do the whole lead thing now, isn't so bad, but I did disinfect it first. Like I had disinfecting white thing, and I did that first before I picked it up. But I did manage to pick Molly's poo up. I was like, don't touch the lead with the hands. I'm gonna use the bag. So I was like, not using that. And then her hand sanitizer, and I was there, just put it in there, and then I'm like this. So the hand that had actually had the poo bag on didn't touch the lead or anything else. It's quite the performance just doing really simple things right now, I'm not going to lie, but it gives me peace inside and means that I don't have to just turn around and go home and just like strip everything off and shower and scrub myself to oblivion, which is what I was doing previously. So there is some steps in the right direction. So anyway, I phoned one of the managers who I get on really well with. He's like the deputy manager there, and he was like, I said, this is the way I feel. I don't feel there's any point in dragging this on now that I need to go and see this occupational therapist, and then I'm only going to get, for a job that I didn't say I don't even want to, well, I probably did actually know me, that I don't even, I feel like I was rushing to get better for a job I didn't even like, and I wanted to leave in August anyway. It just seemed really pointless. So obviously I discussed all this with John. We're a team. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to just do something major like that and not discuss it with him and talk about it. And because obviously I have issues with my mental health, I overthink. So I don't just think things through twice. I think things through hundreds of times. And I've been thinking it through since before I even said to John, I think this is what I want to do next year. What do you think? And that, and I was talking to him like before Christmas. So we'd already booked in like January, New Year's away, because I was like, I'm not going to be there, we get to a new year, and we'd already booked that. So it was always in like a plan. It's just been brought slightly forward. So obviously I like spoke to the manager, and I'd already been off for this time, so there was no point. I wasn't going to be going back into work anytime soon, regardless of whether I left or not. So it was like, it was part of my notice basically, is like being off. And then that was it really. It was kind of like, yeah, and I've left. So I'm going to go back in and see some people, because I feel like there's some people I'd like to say bye to. There's a couple of people I will keep in contact with. I'm still in contact with people that I met when I was at H&M a long time ago, like 12 years ago, whatever. Because just some people you just gel with and you want them still to be in your life. And then there's other people that you get on well with when you work, but you don't really have anything in common outside of work. So like, you're not going to really carry on seeing each other. And I want to say bye to, all those kind of people and stuff like that, because your co-workers are what make, especially in retail and especially around Christmas and stuff, they're what make it worthwhile. And you're sort of like those little you see another member of staff and it's like, oh, because you're just like surrounded by all these people that you don't know, and you're trying to like tidy and you've got someone right there like you don't exist. But yeah, so they do definitely help, and I think that's really what keeps us all sane as each other when we go to these things, and in the craziness that is customer service in general, not just retail. But yeah, so I do want to kind of say bye to them. So what am I going to be doing now? Dun, 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 dun. Obviously I'm going to be doing my small business, so I've been gradually building it up this year, but I only could go so far because of being still working in retail. It's one of these things, because you're open 7 days a week, and basically members of staff are there from, on an average day, 7 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. Obviously Sundays it's a bit of a shorter time, Christmas it's even longer, and when they say Christmas they were talking about like October it starts to change, so it's not like, oh, wait till December. And then there's other things that go on that they sometimes want people to do overnights and all that kind of thing because they're moving things in the shop and all that kind of thing. So it's crazy. So it means that when I was doing like fairs and markets, I only could book a certain amount of time off because at some point I knew my manager was going to turn around and go, we can't keep giving you all these Saturdays and Sundays off. It's not fair on everyone else. So I knew that was going to come up at some point. So I was just like, careful about what I booked, but it meant that I was missing opportunities. I was getting people going, oh, there's a fair happening here, do you want to come? And I'm like, I can't because I'm at work. And I'd often be at work till like 9 o'clock at night on a Friday, then be up early and be doing a fair all day on Saturday, then be back at work at like 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. And it was like, when you do a fair, you've got all the preparation to do, then you're there the whole time, and then you've got more prep to do sort of afterwards, because obviously you've sold stuff, you need to sort that out and update like your shops and stuff like that, and there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes before you get to the fair and after you get to a fair, so those times are kind of a bit crucial. So I get in on Monday and I could quite often be at work on the Monday as well, which meant I never felt like I actually caught up with myself and what I was doing. So that was another thing. And then when I was getting sort of more stockists, I've sort of scaled that back a bit because I was getting more stockists, which was brilliant, but I didn't have time to make the stuff for the stockists because I was like at work. So it was getting to the stage where I was trying to make stuff for the fairs and then I was trying to make stuff for the stockists, but I didn't have enough time to do all that, and it was getting rather stressful. And then I was going to my job and then I was there, but I didn't even enjoy it and it's boring as hell, and I was sick of just picking up stuff and just retidying stuff that like even staff can't even flip and tidy themselves. Like customers, you expect it, but you expect staff to put things in the right place and stuff, but no, that's asking too much, even though we all get paid the same. But let's just move on. And yeah, so I was getting really fed up and stressed, and I felt like I was doing all that for no benefit whatsoever for myself. Now, one thing I do really want to say is that obviously I'm aware that I'm in a privileged position. I feel like you have to say that on here, even though you know you are, but people don't seem to think you think that unless you actually say it. So I'm saying it, that I know I'm in a privileged position. If I was back when I was in my 20s, my teens, my 20s, even my early 30s, this would not be a possibility. But because I'm lucky enough to have a husband who's A, extremely supportive, but also B, works flipping hard and has a good job, it means that I don't have to worry about things like paying the mortgage and, well, just paying household bills really. I don't have to worry about that. I don't pay for the car and all that kind of thing. John does all that. So for me, it seems like a terrifying step, and it still is in some ways, because I've always had since really before I was 17, because I had a paper round and I got paid monthly for that and things like that from when I was 13. I've always had a wage at the end of the month, and now it's kind of like I'm not going to have that wage at the end of the month. It's like, oh god, and now I've got to budget completely differently. Though to be fair, I think I'll actually budget better because I'll probably not spend anything just because I'll be terrified just in case. So it's probably a good thing. Instead of spending stuff when you get the paycheck and just spending it on God knows what, I'll actually be more careful and think about what I'm spending the money on. So it's probably a good thing. And yeah, as I said, I am really lucky to be in the position where I can give up that job. I was only doing 12 hours, but 12 hours is still money. Do you know what I mean? Not going to knock that at all. And to be able to give this chance and have a husband who's really supportive of me, as well, and all my crazy madhap ideas. And I'm not under any, if this all goes wrong and it doesn't work out, I'll just get another job, guys. Like, I said this to John, said, if it doesn't work out, I'll just go to the job. But I think I'd really kick myself in the future if I didn't take the opportunity now. We don't have kids and stuff. I don't have the responsibility of that. And obviously, as I said, with John's job and everything, I don't have the responsibility of paying the household bills and stuff. So not only can I now concentrate on my small business and do grow it the way I wanted to. I've been wanting to grow it, but felt like I was unable because I just didn't have the time and it was stressing me out trying to fit it all in. But also I can now actually concentrate more on my mental health. I said near the beginning of the video, it is a battle to get mental health care and mental health help in this country, and having to think about getting a sick note for here, and then I know what would happen when the counsellor would come through, finally come through, and I'd be going to counselling, I'd say like, for instance, Tuesdays, we'll do the counselling on Tuesdays because I don't work Tuesdays. Then one week they'll decide to put me in on a Tuesday at work, and I'll go to work, I have counselling sessions on Tuesdays now, so I can't do those shifts. Oh, well, we can't give you every Tuesday off, because if we give you every Tuesday off, we have to give everyone else every Tuesday off, and that wouldn't be fair, would it? And then I'd end up not actually doing the counselling, which has happened before. So then I don't end up getting the help, and then I just go round and round in circles. So I'm like, if I'm going to do this now, if this is the time, which apparently it is, the time to do this, then I want to do it properly. So I want to go to my counselling sessions, well, their phone, on the phone, or video call thing. I think they are going to be. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to make every single one of those appointments. I want to be able to do the tools and everything, and take that time out. I want to, if I'm having a bad day mentally, I want to be able to look after my mental health rather than ignoring how I feel and going out and doing stuff and making myself worse because I feel like I can't phone in sick. So if I phone in sick, they're not going to understand that it's for my mental health. You can't really, for me, I can't really have just one day off mental health. Like, I know it's partly my fault because I push it and push it and push it. Then I get to that sort of stage and then I just go, what? I can't do anything anymore. And I know I don't listen to myself, and it's something I've been working on especially over the last couple of years, of listening to myself. And I do feel proud of myself for realising there was something wrong, and instead of ignoring it and carrying on, I went, that's enough. Let's stop. I've done this before. It doesn't end well. And I've still ended up with all this time off work anyway. So maybe I did leave it too long. I don't know. But anyway, so I feel like when I finally made the decision, and I spoke to my manager and was like, did my notice and everything, and me and John knew, we discussed it. I think he was waiting for me to make the decision to leave, and I was waiting for him to tell me to leave. So neither of us were doing it because we're both nervous, but we're both excited, and we're laughing at each other because there was no need to really be that nervous. It was like, because if it all goes wrong, John, I'm just going to get another job. And he was like, well, yeah, that's true. It's not like I can never work again now that I've decided to become self-employed and stuff. So yeah, anyway. So that's that, end of an era, no more working for someone else, and now I'm just working for myself, which, I don't know, already it feels fulfilling. So the money that I'm seeing in my account from next month is going to be money that, yes, I've earned, but also I've made, literally. I'm making this stuff. Like, the reason things are selling at stock is because I've approached people, because I've put my products out there, I've put myself out there, same with fairs and stuff. And yeah, I'm literally going to have made every single penny that's in there. And I think I'm going to be scared to spend anything other than like on my business for quite some time. I do have little bills and stuff to pay, because even though I don't pay any of the major ones, I do like pay my phone bill and stuff like that. So yeah, so I don't want it to be harder for John. Like, I don't want him to have to pay more things because I've decided to do this, if that makes sense. We have a balance, and the reason I worked sort of 12 hours was partly because of my mental health, but also partly because I have my own business. So I want to make sure that he's not out of pocket and that he's not more stressed or feeling like he's got to work even more because of my choice and what I've decided to do. That's really important to me, because we are a team. It's not I give up what I want to do and do what I want to do, and he has to like go with the consequences. And it's always that way. That's not the way marriages should work. You've both got to make sacrifices, and it's got to be a joint decision, and you've got to discuss it, and that's what we have done. And yeah, I'm really excited, but I am scared. Sometimes I'm like, yes, I know I can do this, I can really do this. And then the next day I'm like, no, I can't. I cannot do this. Why am I doing this? And sometimes I'll sit there and go, oh, I get paid on, I think it would be like a Friday or something this month. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting a paycheck. Like, this is the money I've got, and it's not going to increase unless I do something. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've got fairs and stuff booked in. Like, I've been booking so much more stuff in and getting things organised and rejigging a few things within my business and stuff. In preparation, I've been doing that. I did have a proper break. I was doing fairs because I already committed to it and I'd lose money otherwise, but I wasn't doing much behind the scenes because of my mental health. But now that I've handed in my notice, I'm trying to get back into it now, and I do feel much better in myself if I stay at home than I had previously. I've got a lot more space in my head for things, and Yeah, I feel quite positive. Like today especially has been a pretty good day. I feel quite positive. Managed to take Molly out, and yes, I did a few routines to be able to do that, and a few little things that do take up too much time in my life. But I did it, and I felt okay when I came back. I didn't have to rush in the shower and change everything. It helped that it's not muddy out there, so I didn't get splashed everywhere. No dog jumped up at me this time and got his muddy paws on me or anything, and Molly didn't roll in anything. So this all helped, you know. And the fact that, you know, she did a poo right near the bin, all that stuff helped me out, not gonna lie. But yeah, so I do feel pretty positive, especially today. And I do have another fair on Sunday, which is irrelevant to you because by the time you see this, I think you'll see this next week on Wednesday at 3:00. So I will be in Arnold on the Saturday, in Arnold Marketplace for a market there. I'll be there like all day. I think it's from 10 till, I think it starts at 10 till like 4, 3 or 4. I've done it once before, a couple of months ago, so I'll be doing that again. So that'll be exciting. I think there's like a few of us stalls there this time. There wasn't that many when I did it before, but this time I think it was like 12 of us. So that's quite exciting, and I'm looking forward to doing that. It's quite a new fair that this woman's got going, so she's only sort of getting into the flow of it and organising it and getting, you know, people aware of it and stuff, so that should be quite good. And yeah, I've got a lot of things happening behind the scenes that I'm planning and getting involved in and stuff, so I can't wait to kind of share that with you guys. This channel's not going to change that much because obviously I couldn't do anything about my retail on there anyway. I think I might end up editing the videos myself at some point, just to take that off John now that I've got a bit more time, but we'll see how that goes. I don't like editing them. That's why I stopped doing YouTube. I hate editing them. It takes time. I'm not a computer person. I find it really boring to do it. I'm more of the creative person. John's more the person behind the scenes who puts it all together, basically. So I'm hoping he's going to carry on doing them. But we'll see. If he gets too fed up with it, then maybe I just won't do YouTube anymore, guys. But I have been doing shorts and posts as well on YouTube, which, because I'm a dinosaur, I didn't realise that you could actually do, and I've been doing that and I'm quite enjoying that. I quite enjoy watching other people's shorts and seeing their photos on there as well. So yeah, so you can see me on there in the week, as well as these videos, like I said, on Wednesdays at 3:00. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and I know I ramble a lot when it comes to these kind of videos, but so thank you if you've watched to the end. And please like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and obviously share it, any of my videos, share it and say, this person's amazing, please watch. So anyway, thank you as well for all the messages that I've had on my socials saying good luck and congratulations and things. That has meant a lot and given me a little bit of a boost, so thank you for that as well. And yeah, I'll see you in the next vlog. Bye.